In the Hindu origin myth, a lotus flower grew from Vishnu's navel. In the middle of the blossom sat Vishnu's servant Brahma. Vishnu spoke to his servant, "It's time to begin, create the world." Several Hindu deities such as Vishnu, Brahma, Lakshmi and Krishna are strongly associated with the lotus. The lotus's unfolding petals suggest the expansion of the soul. As it floats above the murky waters of material attachment and physical desire, the lotus represents purity of the body, speech and mind, as well as truthfulness, compassion and forbearance. Guru Rinpoche was the tantric master who taught Vajrayana Buddhism throughout the Himalayan region between the 8th and 9th centuries. He became known as PADMA-SAMBHAVA, meaning born from a lotus. Avalokiteshvara himself, the foremost bodhisattva in the Buddhist pantheon, was nicknamed Padmapani, or the one who holds a lotus. Chakras are usually likened to lotus flowers. The crown chakra is called Sahasrara Padma, meaning thousandfold lotus, while the heart chakra is said to be attuned to the ANAHATA nad, that is, the unstruck sound or the primeval sound of creation, comparable to the concept of Om. As a case in point, Om Mani Padme Hum is the popular Sanskrit mantra which claims that the sound of the gem in the lotus leads to awakening. The symbolism of the rose, too, is connected with enlightenment and secret wisdom, as well as funerary practices and initiatory rituals. The ancient phrase sub rosa, or under the rose, means in secret. The flowers of wild roses usually have 5 petals, whereas cultivated varieties usually have quite a few more. In the Middle Ages, a rose with 7 petals was equated with a heptagram and its occult significance. In alchemy, a white rose symbolized albedo, and a red rose, rubedo. In the allegorical romance called The Chemical Wedding, the mystic Rosenkreutz attends a royal wedding at a mysterious castle, identifiable with the Rosenberg Castle in South Bohemia. Said castle still houses the portrait of a sorceress named Perta, surrounded by a magic circle containing Enochian writing. The War of the Roses was named after the Red Rose of Lancaster and the White Rose of York, the 2 rival dynasties fighting for control of Britain from 1455 to 1487. Freemasonry, the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, and other occult organizations have often used the rose as a symbol of the great work. President Ronald Reagan declared the rose the national flower of the United States of America in 1986, shortly after musicians David Lee Roth and Steve Vai had released their song Yankee Rose. The cryptic term Yankee Rose was devised by Anton Szandor LaVey with reference to the transformation of North American society, culture, and spirituality from the death of Moctezuma I in 1469 to the historic events of 1969, such as the Apollo 11 mission and the Woodstock Music Festival. In the following verse, written in 1912 on the near completion of the Panama Canal, poet Vachel Lindsay underlined the close relation between the lotus and the rose, connecting east and west. Flags of the Pacific and the Atlantic meet. Captain calls to captain. Fleet makes cheer with fleet. Above the drowned ages, a wind of wooing blows. The red rose woos the lotus woos the rose. The lotus conquered Egypt. The rose was loved in Rome. Great India crowned the lotus. Britain is the rose's home. Old China crowned the lotus. They also crowned it in Japan. Christendom adored the rose before Christendom began. The lotus speaks of slumber. The rose is as a dart. The lotus is nirvana. The rose is Mary's heart. The rose is deathless, restless, the splendor of our pain, the flush and fire of labor that builds not all in vain. The genius of the lotus shall heal earth's too much fret. The rose, in blinding glory, shall waken Asia yet. Hail to their loves, you peoples! Behold, a whirlwind blows that aids the ivory lotus to wed the red, red rose.